Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Doing a video that I tried to do last night, but yeah, it was late, so brain wasn't working, so it didn't quite happen. But what the issue was, I was walking around with Bambini last night on his walkies, and God basically says, if I didn't offer you a job, a certain job, then that wasn't your job. Basically, you know, I've talked about pastors and that sort of stuff in the past, and yesterday I was talking about a lot of people want to be the servant of God because, like the story in the Bible about the son having all the money left to spend the money, spent all the money, then debt, and he was servant after that. He went to home to be a servant of his dad, and his dad says, "You can't be my servant, you're my son." God says, I didn't offer these people to be a servant. I didn't offer that job to them. The job of the servants is the angels, not the people. The angels are the servants of God. Well, I've talked about jobs, Christian jobs in the past, and people think they should be everything. And I said before, I didn't know why, but I said before, you can't do that. Because if you think you're everything, you're absolutely nothing. Well, last night, God says, that's true. That is true. Because if you're doing the wrong job, then what you're doing is worth nothing. Because you're not doing your job. You're doing someone else's job. So therefore, what you're doing is worth nothing at all. So maybe, in the Bible, people were saying to the Lord, we were doing this and that and this and that, healing people, that sort of stuff. And the Lord says, I've never known you. Maybe they were doing someone else's job. Maybe they were trying to be a servant of God and doing all the stuff as a servant. If you're doing it that way, thinking you're a servant, then everything you have been doing is nothing. It's worth nothing at all. Well, I've spoken about my last two pastors. Well, they call themselves pastors, but they're not. Neither of them are pastor or teachers. But they call themselves pastor, teacher, etc., etc., etc. About 6 jobs they wanted. The titles. 6 jobs. So everything they're doing is worth nothing. Well, it's like in the world. If you have a job, you have to do your job to get paid. Right? If you do someone else's job, that the other person would be paid, but not you. Because their job has been done, not yours. And you think it's different in the spiritual way. No. Not really, it's the same. If God has called you to do a job, then you have to do that job to a fruit. Yeah. And most people in churches, especially leaders, don't know that or don't really care about that. All they care about is power, 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 power. They want the power. I think basically a lot of people in charge of churches, they know if they weren't in charge, the people in charge will basically say to them, you need to leave this church because you're absolutely useless. So they want to be the leaders and have all the power because they know people will see them properly if they didn't have that power. Yeah. Maybe it's the way to say that is better than what I said. Probably, yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. But it's still true. It is still true though. But yeah. So, yeah, in the end, you have to do the job that you were called to do. It's no good in any way, shape or form trying to do a job that you were not called to do. You can do that job, but then it means that actually the person that's supposed to do that job can't do it. Because you're there, trying to do that job. And will there be fruit from that job? No. Not for you. And not from the other person who should be doing that job. There's no fruit at all. Well, that's the reason we need the Spirit to lead us. But with the church pointing to the Lord and don't care about the Spirit, of course, we've got the wrong people doing jobs. Yeah. And therefore, a lot of people in church, when they die, they will say to the Lord, oh, I was doing this, I was doing this, I was doing this. And they will say, I don't know you. I gave you this job and you weren't there at all. You didn't do anything. So therefore I don't know you at all. Because, yeah, you were supposed to be over here, and when I looked over there, you weren't there. You can say to him all the time, oh, I was working over here, over here, over here. I was working over here all the time. Yeah, being a servant to you. Because I love you, Jesus. And he will say, okay. If you love me, did you actually listen to me? Yeah, when I said, you need the helper. Did you listen? No. When I said that God will tell the Spirit what to say about me, and it's the job of the Spirit to talk about me, did you listen? No. No. So, do you really love me? Because if you really love me, you would listen to me. Especially if you're pointing to me all the time. Then you will listen to my words. And care about that. Did you care about that? Well, the proof says no. Well, the fruit says no, so therefore the proof says no. Do your job. Not anyone else's job. That's what I said. If you go to a church and the leader of that church says to you, I want you to be the pastor, the teacher, etc., 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 then say no. Say no. Listen to the Spirit. If the Spirit is saying to you, you're supposed to be the pastor, then tell them, only the pastor. If the Spirit is saying you're only supposed to be the teacher, then say teacher, only the teacher. Do your job. And then you will have fruit. Do your job. Be a blessing. Be blessed. Speak to you later. God bless. Bye-bye.